ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another Dishealth Confusion Thursday Night Hangout.
Yo! After being MIA last Thursday, it is good to be back in the saddle again, sir. On Delta Confusion range of ranges.
Ladies and gentlemen, I, of course, am your host, Charlie, and I'm joined once again by the prolific commoner himself, Zealeus.
Cheerio.
Ladies and gentlemen, this, of course, is the Thursday Night Hangout. It's a live show. We try our best to cover all the topics most important to you. Now, of course, if you haven't submitted your topic at any point during the show, you can drop it in the chat, and we will add it to our show. Now, if we unfortunately do run out of time during the show, we will add it to the very next show. With that said and done, I do want to point out that there were a couple people who showed up to last Thursday's gaming stream be very depressed that Zealeus wasn't here and that we did not have the ability to do a Thursday hangout. So
next time I'll put my cat on in place of me. I'll be just as entertaining as me.
We'll figure something out. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, let's get into it. First off, a couple updates. I know that I've been kind of slacking on updates-ish as of late, and I am happy to report that the 3 panels that were recorded at ChattaCon are now up and available for your viewing pleasure.
Nice. What are the 3 about, good sir?
The panels are PC gaming and console gaming, friends, enemies, or frenemies, online virtual tabletop RPG game discussion, and writing for children and adolescents. The last one, writing for children and adolescents, was actually just a panel I got to record. It was a really interesting panel. I was not on that panel, but the other 2, I was either the moderator or one of the speakers. You may have noticed that video games changing for the good ? Was not included on that, and that's because it was a Sunday morning panel, and we had a couple people come in and we kind of just chatted. So we didn't record it just because I wasn't sticking to like a script per se. We were just kind of during that panel we talked about microtransactions and all that stuff. So
oh, no, it's very nice.
Yes. So, ladies and gentlemen, I have misplaced my mouse here.
There is the frenemies.
Yes. Zealeus is going to put all of the links in the chat. And, of course, at any point, if you just want to go to www.alteredconfusion, all one word, .com, you can also find them that way. Now, Zealeus, have you been up to any gaming as of late?
I'm still actually playing Yeast 8. I don't know how to say the word. Lacrimosa of Dina, I think is what it is technically. Yeah, no, I've been playing a lot of that. I always don't know how I feel about these longer played JRPGs with so many of the good games that are out. Because there comes like a certain point, and it's not just that, it's like so many games out there are so long, but there comes a certain point, like in a 50 to 100 hour game, like, do I really want to invest that many hours? Because I could be playing like 3 other games in that time span.
It's kind of like you get to like an oversaturation point.
Yeah, and like, I mean, you can only vary the gameplay so much during those mini number of hours. So, and I get it, like, there's definitely segmented gamers that want the very long, drawn-out process. But there also comes a certain point where, like, is longer always better? I would argue no, that substance is usually better than just throwing on filler for the sake of filler, is my opinion. But yeah, I mean, even non-JRPGs. I mean, look at The Witcher. I mean, those can be some extremely long games too.
Right.
So it's not just a JRPG. I mean, I know they're kind of the poster child for it, but it can definitely be all types of video games. But even like, you play like a Civilization type of game, and depending on how you do your map setup, that game can take many hours depending on your settings that you play with.
just because you mentioned The Witcher, I just pulled it. I just pulled up The Witcher on my Steam account, and the first Witcher I put 33 hours in. The second Witcher I put 36 hours in, and then the third Witcher I played on my console. So I can't give you that number off top of my.
I'm pretty sure, from what I understand, I haven't played Witcher 3, but it's a lot more hours than the first two.
My guess is that I was probably 40 plus hours for The Witcher 3.
With also some amazing expansions.
Oh, absolutely. Now, okay, so we've got, this oversaturation point of at a certain like mile mark, if it's a lot of rinse and repeat. For me, if it's a lot of rinse and repeating, and even if the storyline is advancing, there's just this point where I still feel there's a point where I feel like I'm just going through the motions. And when that hits, it's really hard for me to keep staying energized to really go as gung-ho as I have up to that point. And that's usually when I run out of steam and may not complete it, which is a problem. Tales of Arise, I hit that point, and I'm sad because I want to know what the rest of the story is, but at the same time, I'm like, I'm gonna
lie, I did not actually beat Tales of Arise, because like you, I got kind of burnt out.
How many hours did I put into that? I wonder. Hold on, let me check that real quick.
Yeah, I have to look at my console.
Tales of Arise, I put 27 hours in, almost 28 hours. To me, I understand there are people out there who feel that if they don't complete the game, that the money they spent on the game wasn't worth it. For me, I put close to 28 hours in there. I enjoyed it the vast majority of the time, so I feel like I got my money's worth. Plus, I think I also got on a huge discount, which helps.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. And I think it's why did one not finish a video game? Like if like in my case, probably like you, I just kind of got burnt out of Tales, just got more or less bored, but it wasn't like some mechanic or storyline deviation. It wasn't like any soul crushing part of the game where it's like, well, this sucks. Now I'm not going to play anymore. Sometimes you just get bored of a game, and that's not necessarily like I mean, you would love to stay engaged for 100 hours a game, but that's not absolutely a bad thing. If at a certain point you're just kind of like, meh, I just feel like moving on. It's not the end of the world. And for me, the hard part is like a lot of these games are hard to come back to. Let's just say 6 months, right?
Right.
Like coming back to a game like in 6 months, especially when it's the action RPG style, because you got to remember like your key, like, your combinations for your buttons and how to do combat, all this other shit. It's really hard to come back to a game you haven't played in many, many months.
Well, I mean, for Tales of Rise, especially, there, the main character, if you're using the main character, you can swap to another one. He has, I think it's either 3 or 4 sword swings, and then there's a delay. So you've got, it's all about the rhythm, and then also trying to pull off like the special moves once you power up your gauge.
When I played as the sorceress, and with her, like you have to combo your spells to power them up. And like,
don't you also want to time it so that when your opponent is casting a spell, you can make it like you get a bonus off that?
Yeah. And like, I remember I stopped playing for like 2 weeks at one point, and like I forgot how to chain my spells because you have to do like a certain combination of your like L and right buttons.
Yep.
And now it's after like 2 weeks, I forgot how to basically play my character.
Yep.
So you stop playing for a month or two, and it's like, yeah, I don't know how to play this game anymore.
Yeah, I can see that.
And that's what makes it hard. It wasn't like I enjoyed the game, and like you, I'm like I may actually go on YouTube at some point and be like, what actually happened?
Well, let's see, where the heck did I end off? I got I think I'm on the 4th kingdom. I think. Or is the 5th?
I made it through like the very there's like a forest kingdom, I think.
Yep. Yeah, so there's the fire.
I did that.
The like it's basically no sun. It's the cold, frozen one.
Beat that one.
And then after that, it's kind of like this, like almost utopia. Kind of everything is green. There's a forest there,
and that's where you get the king guy on your.
Yep.
And
so
then, I beat that one.
And then there is the next one, which is the wind place.
I'm either on that one or that's the last one I beat. I can't remember.
I believe the last thing I did was I beat the wind.
I know it's definitely on that one, or I beat it. I can't remember it.
Because you have to chase down the wind person.
And it's like there's this like uprising from the village, and they come to hate you or something, from what I remember.
Yes, because their leader is freaking insane.
I think that's the one I was on.
Gotcha.
Is that the one you last beat?
I think so. You have to go to a hidden like underground temple.
Yes.
To try to find the wind girl.
Yeah.
But to not do any spoilers, I won't tell you what happens in said temple. How about that?
Fair enough. I may have actually done that. Isn't that the one where like you have the night and like it turns out like somebody dies basically?
Her brother. Ah, shit!
Yeah.
God damn it! You made me do the spoiler, you dick.
Yes, I've done that. I beat that part. So I guess I did beat that planet or
area, that world, land, whatever
it is. Yeah. But now I am curious what happens. Like, eventually, going to travel to that place up above.
Sam. Okay, so Sam Grizzle reports that he's never bored of Battlefield 1. He has put 5,200 plus hours into it, and for that, I think, I understand why you would do that, because I'm assuming that you're playing like online matches and certain game modes. So hopefully every single match is a new experience or a variation of what you would do. Zealeus has decided to convert that into minutes, and it is 314,940 minutes, or 218 days. Are you shitting me? Yeah, I guess that's right.
That's a prodigious amount of time spent in the game.
Yeah, I can't claim any number that high. I think, no, I can't claim any number that high. Let's see here. Let me see if I could quickly find, shit, I can't remember. There's a way on Steam to do like to sort it by most played, and I can't remember how to do it.
Well, I know on mine is. I'm trying to find it on Steam. I had panel comparison, 372 hours on TF2.
There you go. Here we go. How many hours?
372 hours.
Okay, yeah, I can't beat that. I've got the game. Wow, I'm actually surprised. The game that I put the most hours into is Slay the Spire at 313 hours.
Victory.
And then okay, so my top three, because those are the three that are over 100 hours. I've got Slay the Spire at 313, FTL at 303, and then Paladins at a cool 200. So, and then it like rapidly drops.
I would be curious. I had 51 hours in Defiance.
Oh, since I didn't do it through Steam, I wouldn't know.
Yeah, I did it through Steam, so I can still see the hours for Defiance.
Did I do it through Steam? I don't think I did. No, I didn't. Damn it.
I didn't do Destiny. I did Destiny on PlayStation, so I put quite a few hours into Destiny, but I don't know how many.
Yeah, I don't know either. Anyways, so the reason why I asked Zealeus what he's been playing recently, I actually, like I said, I've now kind of passed Tales of Rise, and I've switched over to a game called Lost in Random. And it's actually a really, really good game. You are playing as this young girl named Even. You're trying to get your sister, whose name is Odd, back. Her sister was stolen by a queen, and the real mechanic behind this game is actually a D6, a six-sided die, and you're going to, all your battles are going to be surrounded by this dice, and you have to collect these power cubes to power up your dice to then roll the die. And then depending on what number you have, that's basically like your mana for that little section. And you get cards. You have a deck of 15, and you'll get, I think it's 5 cards at one time, random cards. And then you try to use like your points to either produce a weapon so you can actually kill your enemy, or create a trap, or create like, some kind of protection. And the entire world is split into 6 different areas. There is the Oners, then you've got the two, then you got the 3 Kingdom, 4, 5, 6. And as you go, your dice becomes more and more powerful, because your dice starts as only rolling 1 and 2s.
Sounds very roguey.
It's not. It's not as roguey as you think. Yeah, because the battles aren't random. They're set up, and it's not really open world either. You're basically in a city, or you're in like the city of 1, the city of 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And so there's only so much explore you could do. Each area's got a good number of quests, and if you complete the quest, you'll get money or like a rare card. And then, of course, when you're out of combat, you have a slingshot that you can use to like break these pots that will get you more money. So you can basically buy the cards from a very weird looking dealer.
What's the game called?
Lost in Random.
Interesting.
But I didn't know what I was getting myself into, but I was like, you know what? Let's give this a shot. And I've really enjoyed it. And to be honest with you, I probably should have recorded a playthrough. However, it would probably be a long playthrough, because I've already I'm already at the 7-hour mark, and I'm now just finishing up with the 3rd city. So yeah, that'd probably be too long for a playthrough. I mean, well, I could probably do a playthrough, but my God, that's... Okay, Zealeus, do you still got your calculator open?
How many hours?
Say 7 hours, and then convert that to minutes, and then divide it by 20.
That's 420 minutes.
Right, 420 minutes. So divide that by 20. That's what? That's already 20?
That'd be like 20-ish gameplays.
Okay. And I'm like basically halfway through. So it'd be a total of 40-something gameplays. That's probably too long.
Yeah, that's a lot.
It'd also be a bitch to render. Oh, as I was saying about about ChattaCon, I still am working on the interview that I did do. I was actually one of the reasons why I was almost late to the show was that I was trying to save all the work that I had done so I didn't lose it, because my wonderful video rendering software sometimes likes to just randomly crash, and I really did not want to have to redo all that.
It's not very nice of it.
No, it's not. But that being said, it happens sometimes. Okay, so I was asked a question, and I'm going to ask the audience and Zealeus, of course. What do you? And this is something that is definitely, unfortunately, a more common occurrence than I'd like. What do you make of all these social media celebrities and them basically considering them, seeing themselves as gods?
That's well outside of my sphere of like knowledge, honestly. I don't really pay attention to influencers or famous YouTubers. I live in my little hole where my idea of social media magnates are like the kitten lady.
Yeah. So
yeah, I don't really get it. That I just don't like. I watch some random stuff on YouTube, but they're all pretty chill guys from like the gamers I'll watch like when they do stuff. But yeah, like if I saw someone being all like, I'm the best because blah, 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 I just turn the channel. Be like, you're dumb. Shut up.
Yeah. No, I didn't know how you would answer that question, but I was asked it, so I had to ask it. For me, honestly, it's kind of in the same vein as people thinking that they are invincible because they've got a computer that protects them between themselves and the people they're giving their opinions about, and it's kind of magnified. Where
I was about to say not magnification of it, but narcissism of it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that you are the central person for all these people's adulation and love. And so you see your numbers tick up and the chat numbers tick up and all the other things. It's going to give people a sense of pride, honestly, an accomplishment. And that's how their sense of fulfillment is. Now, by the same token, if that's what it does to make a paycheck and to make a living, then more power to them. It's not a whole lot different than what you or I do. I mean, we all do what we got to do to make a paycheck at the end of the day. So, I mean, if it works for them and they're not, actively harming anybody in it, and it's people's choice to follow and obviously therefore do the Patreon or the tipping or whatever else scheme they have, then, obviously there's a market for that. And sure, I don't think we are the target audience for that type of atmosphere. But obviously, I mean, I know the kids when they're in school, and that is the world they're in, is watching the streamers 24/7.
Thank you, Sam. Sam says, I only follow Ultra Confusion. Long live Charlie and Zealeus.
Cheers to that as I drink alcohol to take years off my life.
I would be drinking alcohol as well, but I drank a good chunk yesterday, so I am strictly Mountain Dewing it today. So
that is very understandable, sir.
So,
yeah.
Yeah, no, so, I mean, the thing is, I think, for the most part, Zealeus, I agree. I think that this is a job for a lot of people, and they take it seriously. But then there are those individuals who've kind of like, in some weird-ass way, they've transcended it and believe that they are, like, basically gods. And there's basically the Paul family. It's kind of like the Kardashians of the internet.
You're talking about Logan Paul?
And his brother.
Didn't one become like an MMA or boxing or something?
Yes, there's one that keeps doing boxing and MMA, and then I think he just did a WWE event.
Yes, I remember seeing a highlight for that. So, I mean, my guess is, putting on my armchair psychology, that's probably just really an extension of who they already were. And now they just have the platform to live that out.
Yeah.
Is really what it comes down to.
Yeah. I mean, there's those individuals who, there are those who try that even without social media, they are what they are. I mean, you've got people who get themselves in trouble and get permaban or a temporary ban on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch for doing things that are against the rules just because they can. Or you've got the people who do dumb shit just because they want the extra views. I can't remember the name of the streamer, but there's a streamer that's been kicked out of several sporting events for doing dumb shit like trying to get a haircut in the middle of a match in Wimbledon. I personally, knowing how expensive tickets to Wimbledon are, would never try to pull that shit. But then again, I don't have the capital that dude probably has.
And he probably looks at it as a opportunity to actually increase the viewership, because that is the type of viewers who watch his YouTube video channel.
Just think if all this streaming and social media stuff was around during the rise of Jackass.
I mean, that's basically what it is in a way. It's like unsanctioned Jackass.
To be honest with you, if Twitch and streaming was around during the rise of Jackass, I hate to say this, but there's no way that Johnny Knoxville would still be alive. I would agree. He would have done some stupid stunt being pushed by social media and would have died. However, apparently he's had so many concussions that he could barely remember the early days of Jackass now.
That, unfortunately, is unsurprising.
Yeah, no. I've had my fair share of concussions in my life, but Johnny Knoxville's number is so high. It's higher than football players. And
probably consecutively, he gets thrown off the skateboard and, puts some elbow grease on it and gets up and does it again.
Oh, no. When he got thrown up in the air by the bull and he landed on his head and they're like, all right, let's do it again.
Yeah.
Thank you. I mean, shoot, the just like the X game people and all the injuries they do trying to do all their crazy tricks, just like multiply that by 100, and that's jackass. Or for those out there who are looking at the sort of pre-jackass, but also in the same vein, there was a group called CKY.
Oh, I haven't thought of CKY in a long time.
That was a lot of fun too. So, but anywho, but yeah, I mean, yeah, it's just a very interesting world we live in where everything, especially when you're famous, social media famous, your entire life is in kind of this weird ass box, like glass box, where you might get a huge dose of narcissism, but at the same time, everybody can see you at all times.
But it's also tricky though, because we're from a different generation,
right?
In that, really the generation below us, they were raised on a generation. So, I mean, you see it in, like, when I was working in a school, you saw it all the time where, we're thinking of people who, like, they're the YouTube stars and all that stuff that require the adulation, but it's also your everyday student nowadays who also needs that type of adulation. So, we're thinking of like kind of like the Logan Pauls of the world where like everybody knows about them, but it's such a different landscape now where, people's media gets posted online from like super young age. It's all out there to then be judged for the rest of their life. And by God, do other kids judge that content that's now freely available, that has been posted by their parents this entire time with no permission by their parent, by the child themselves. And so now, we remember being a middle school kid, and middle school kids are jackasses.
Yep.
And, once they get, once Tiffany and Lisa get in a little spat, exactly. I mean, they're going to go on, find that Instagram account, be like, Lisa, you so fat, you live around the block twice. And just do like, but that's what's going to happen for that. I mean, not what going to, that is what is happening.
Yeah.
So it is this very awkward world of these kids live online. I mean, not kids, adults now too, live online where there is, from a very young age now, there is kind of that need for online confirmation. That you are, attractive, that you're a great athlete, that you're a rock star intellectual, whatever your kind of niche is. A lot of people have that need for accept. And I mean, that need for acceptance was here well before the internet. It's not like this internet all of a sudden created this need for narcissism.
Right.
It's just that the internet has really kind of focused that to a very easy lens into having that acceptance, which unfortunately also creates a lot of negativity, and a very easy way to, I mean, like we're in the playground and, Mark came over and made fun of you. You can either punch him in the face or walk it away. It was just kind of done with. Whereas, if you post a picture on Instagram and all of a sudden you get rated by it and everyone's making fun of you, there's no running away from that. Like, It's out there. So like, I'm glad that we did not have all that shit online when I was that age, because it sticks with them. And, if you get in that group where kids don't like you, it's going to be with you. And there might not be anything you can do with it. Or the other way around. That's where, from very young age, if that's where you get your sense of belonging, acceptance from, is people saying and fawning over you online. That's also what we have going on.
Agree. I think that, for anyone out there who's trying to make it online, you have to have a thick skin. And unfortunately, a lot of people who believe that they have thick skin, everyone has a chink in their armor. And if someone can get at that, it's unfortunately really sad to watch people unfortunately crash and burn in a lot of instances. And I hope that if an individual, if you're watching this show or if you're listening to this podcast, if there comes a time that you do crash and burn because of something that happens on the internet, there are individuals who who are just like you, who've gone through it, and there's also certified counselors and helpers that can help you kind of regain your footing. You're not alone. I just want to put that out there. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to pause for just a second to give a shout out to all those amazing individuals out there who are friends of the show. So without further ado, let us start off with the Indie Cluster. The Indie Cluster is an organization of independent game developers that want to gain exposure by being involved in the community. They collectively journey to popular conferences as a traveling booth to help gain attention for their games. They make partnerships in local communities to bring games to the mainstream mindset. They highlight local, unusual, and rare concepts to challenge the paradigm of the common. They also host events to teach kids and minority groups about game development to hopefully one day enter the industry themselves. For more information, go to indiecluster.com. The next shout out we got to give to is to the basically the AV master, and that of course is Noodle Boy Media. Founded in 2015 by Andrew Tran, Noodle Boy Media, previously Whack Kid 47 Media, is your choice for professional photo shoots and panel recordings at conventions. They pride themselves in providing a high level of professionalism, top-notch experiences, and quality services. If you want more information and to view their full list of services, check out facebook.com/noodleboymedia today. Now, the next one is a godsend if you are a gamer and you're usually slumped in weird positions for long times while you game, and you got those weird cricks in your neck and back, and that of course is Hero Chiropractic. Hero Chiropractic is a unique healthcare practice set up by Ryan Moore. The company's focus to elevate a patient's experience of freedom, creative expression, and joy. They believe that everyone can be a hero and has incredible heroic potential inside themselves waiting to be unleashed. Hero Chiropractic focuses on mobile chiropractic care in the greater Atlanta area. They are committed to healing clients by creating a plan of action uniquely suited for each person. They make that plan of action as convenient and affordable as possible, and most importantly, suited to your individual needs. For more information, go to herochiropractic.com. Now, the next one is our musical maestro, and so let's give a shout out to CrossPad Creative. Need a new logo or want to work on a full branding and content strategy? Or maybe you need music or audio for your content. CrossPad Creative offers a whole host of solutions for individuals and small businesses. Just email Josh at crosspadcreative@gmail.com and see what he could do for you. And the final shout out we got to give is to our longest running patron, and that of course is Agile Axiom. By day, X leads both the development team and system administration team working with satellites in NASA's Goddard campus. But while not in meetings and many times during, he is the Agile evangelist Agile X, championing the philosophy of Agile and trying to make the world a better place for software developers, testers, system admins, and software projects the world over. Decades of experience in software development and leading Agile teams are brought to bear against evil processes, inefficient work, and bad habits. For more information, go to agileaxiom.com and also check out his book. All right, since we did the friends of the show, I know you guys are dying to know, how do I become a friend of the show? And so, ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you that Alter Confusion survives on the love and support of fans like you. And so we have a Patreon page. Patreon lets you, the fans, lovers, haters, demigods, interdimensional beings, gods, demons, aliens, mummies, werewolves, vampires, and supporters, and so much more to become active participants in the work we love through a monthly membership. This gives you access to exclusive content, community, and insight into our creative process. In exchange, we gain a bit more freedom to do our best work and the stability we need to build an even stronger creative career. There are currently 2 different tiers that you can subscribe to. There is the $1 a month tier, and that the $1 a month, or $12 a year, you gain early access to all of our playthroughs, as well as access to patron-only posts to help shape the future of Alter Confusion. If you're feeling a little bit more frisky, there is the $5 a month tier. That's $5 a month or $60 a year. Not only do you get everything at the $1 level, but you also gain your name or organization added to the thank you section of every single Thursday night hangout. So if you want to become a patron of Altered Confusion, go to Patreon. That's patreon.com/Altered Confusion. And we will have an Extra Life page set up by the next show. So be on the lookout for that. I do not have the information for that yet because I was halfway through the process, and then unfortunately got sidetracked. So, but
Charlie, side hack? What?
Yeah, I know. But ladies and gentlemen, if perhaps you want to, you don't want to support Altered Confusion financially, but you want to give Altered Confusion something, perhaps to show off on the show or whatnot, we do have a physical mailing address that you can send it to. So if you want to send Altered Confusion something, all you got to do is send it to 1551 Dunwoody. That's DUNWOODY Village Parkway. The next part is super duper important. That is number 88276. I repeat, number 88276. If you do not put that number there, it will not make it to us because that's the P.O. Box number. So remember, 88276. The city is Dunwoody, DUNWOODY. The state is Georgia. The zip code is 30338. And I know that we don't make that announcement every single show, but it is a fan favorite of Sam, and so I make it a point to always do it when Sam is in the crowd.
So we know who's sending you the Funko Pops. That's what I'm hearing.
No, I don't believe that Sam is sending me any, because one of the times that there was one of the Funko Pops actually came with a name, and it was Mitchell. So thank you, Mitchell. Okay, so back to the stories. PlayStation has released the size of Hogwarts Legacy for the PS5, as well as the pre-launch and launch dates for it. Now, of course, there are two different versions of Hogwarts Legacy. There's the regular version and the deluxe version. The deluxe version, of course, will gain you a little bit of a head start. So, and of course, it will cost you more money. But basically, if you're going to end up playing this on the PlayStation 5, the download size is 79.5 gigs. And
that's a hefty boy.
Yes, it is. And the preload for the regular version is February 8th, so that's in 6 days. If you have the deluxe edition, it is February the 5th, so that is in 3 days. And the actual launch on the PlayStation 5, which I'm sure the launch is probably going to be about the same time on all the other platforms, but since it's specifically PlayStation or Sony's reporting this, the regular game will launch on February 10th. So that is, of course, in 8 days. That'll be next Friday. Or if you have the deluxe version, that's February 7th, which that's 5 days from now.
Well, I will be waiting for official reviews, but everything I have read and watched about the game makes it look like it's pretty awesome.
Yes. From my understanding, you can actually start attacking students almost off the bat. So
nice.
Yeah. So I'm not exactly sure. I mean, I guess if you want to go Slytherin, that's the way that you would automatically go.
But if you're Gryffindor and you attack a Slytherin, it's fine, right?
I think if the Slytherin instigated it. I think, right? Maybe.
I don't know. So, no, I'm definitely intrigued. It looks like everything I've seen is it's a great Harry Potter video game where it seems like it was also made by people who actually like the Harry Potter world and added a lot of cool and interesting Harry Potter things. Mm-hmm. Not just, let's make a quick book off the name, but actually done well. So I'm very intrigued.
All right. So the next question that I received this week, actually it's probably last week, and I just had to hold on to it, was what is your opinion of games being delisted on digital platforms? So basically, there's games that have been out there for X amount of years, and all of a sudden they're like, okay, we're no longer going to keep this on our digital platform.
I mean, it sucks. It's kind of think about it. With the physical platform, eventually you cannot get a physical game. Look at the Suikoden's. And that's what caused them to be worth so much in a given amount of time.
Damn you, Zealeus.
I know I had to bring it up and bring you pain and suffering. I know. I mean, I know it seems like it's a little bit silly with digital games because once it's been, published online, it seems logical that it should just be available forever. I guess the real question is the game just not able to be played and downloaded at all, multiplayer shenanigans aside,
right?
Versus was it delisted, like, let's just say from Steam, and now it's only available on Ubisoft? Like, that second case at least makes some logical sense, because in that case, it's probably the publisher trying to get the most bang for their buck. Mm-hmm. So in that case, I at least understand why. But if it's just all of a sudden just completely disappears from any digital marketplace, seems a little bit odd.
No, I agree. I think that if it is the platform owner that just decides to drop the game, that's one thing. But if it's like the developer or publisher going, okay, we want to delist it, that I think, that they're, they're in their right. I just would hate for the platform to go, you know what, this game, it's kind of sells, but it's not like you've got limited shelf space or something.
But I only have so many hard drives to store games on, man.
Right.
I mean, you also look at the amount of shovelware on all of the platforms nowadays, and there's no stopping the console or Steam's or any of them from listing any game, really.
Right.
Because it costs them virtually nothing to do that, really.
No, I mean, the thing is, if it's being delisted because it's a clone or they're getting cease and desist, that delist the shit out of that. Even ironically, and this was something that happened on the iTunes App Store, I guess 6 or 7 years ago, where there were instances of games that were absolutely clones of other games that are there, but they were done better. But unfortunately, because they were considered clones, they had to get knocked off, which was sad and unfortunate, but it happens.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see is at some point, you have a number of single player online always games there. Mm-hmm. And we're going to come eventually to that point of reckoning where what's going to happen to those games, 10, 20 years down the road, for the online only single player games. Now, I'm not even talking like the Diablos that you can play, single player but multiplayer like that. I at least understand, but truly single player games that require to authenticate back to the mothership, what's going to eventually happen to those? That's what I'm kind of intrigued by. Are you eventually going to never be able to play those games ever again?
God, I hope not. I mean, with just an authentication piece, I mean, that's got to be teeny tiny. It's not like, they're storing your entire save in the cloud.
But what happens if that developer goes under?
This is true. This is very true.
Yeah, then nobody's, if their servers go down, because
they better on the day that they shut down, they better send an update to everybody who owns their game that basically cuts off the need for the online authentication, or they're going to have to go into hiding.
Because one could only hope so.
Well, let's just hypothetically say that there's this amazing game out there that gets a lot of good press, and it ends up selling 2 million copies, and then a couple years down the road that company dies, but that game requires online authentication, and there is some retention of the gaming population that are still playing that game.
Yep.
They better freaking send some sort of thing that turns off that option. Or if it was me, I would try to find someone to punch.
That always solves problems. Punching people is always a good solution.
Or send a very strongly worded email. Sam says, once you pay for it, seems that there should be some guarantee it sticks around for a certain period. Anything in the fine print about that? Ooh, that's a good question. And let's I mean, this brings up a good thing, or a very interesting question. Who the hell out there reads the fine print? I'm going to be totally honest with you. When I buy like a game and they require me to read the fine print, I just take that scroll bar and drop it to the bottom so I can hit OK.
Nobody reads the fine print.
Yeah. But
unfortunately, sorry,
no, go.
I say, unfortunately, most of the print probably affects to you're screwed.
Yeah, no, and
sucks to be you. Basically, it's probably what most of it comes down to.
I would be very interested to maybe just take a peek at. I can't think of a game off the top of my head that's strictly single player that's online always that I play simply because I try to avoid those damn things like the plague. But I'd be very interested to maybe skim read it. I ain't going to read the whole thing, but maybe skim read it to see if they have any, like, in the event that this company dies, what happens?
It sounds like you have some good nighttime reading for you, sir. You can't fall asleep at night, just start reading the EULA.
Yeah, that actually, if I did that, Crusader Kings 3 is single player and online. I still play. Okay, so actually, you know what? I might actually have that game. I think I got gifted that game. Crusader. I do have Crusader Kings 3. I don't know. I apparently got it 3 years ago. Shit, it's 2023 now, Charlie. So, ta-da! I've got one.
I actually don't have that. I know of it.
I think I got overwhelmed just by like the level of pieces that you gotta really learn about.
Not the same, but of the same kind of genre, though. But I am very interested because apparently there's a new Age of Wonders coming out.
Really?
Age of Wonders 4, to be exact.
Ah.
So I'm actually very intrigued because Age of Wonders 2 with that expansion, I don't remember what it's called, was a fantastic, like 4X strategy type of game.
I still have it. I mean, it's not on sale right now, but I still have, well, at least I thought I did. Where is it? I'm looking at my wish list on Steam. I swear to God that I had. There it is. Disciples Liberation.
Oh, yep.
Because I was huge into Disciples.
I remember that game.
The first Disciples was fantastically amazing because you could take your, like the demon that protected your capital, and you could put it in your army and go just basically beat the crap out of anybody in your way. But in Disciples 2, they took away that ability. I think Disciples Liberation is actually the fourth one because I think there was actually a Disciples 3 that I might still have in hard copy. However, I do not have a drive anymore to install it with. Dang it. Drat. Anywho, Zealeus, do you have any topics that you want to get covered?
There's a $280 Razer mouse that you can now buy.
And is this thing going to make me the top FPS shooter out there?
It is pretty much the lightest mouse you can play on the market. So maybe that's what you've been missing all the time. Is the super lightweight that comes in at 1.73 ounces.
I don't think. Look, I've always been a fan of like the heavier game controllers and mice because to me, like the weight makes me feel safer. Like it's like a reassurance thing where if it's super light, I just feel like it's cheap. So
that's fair. Yeah.
At a $200 price tag, it's something super
duper.
$280 price tag with something super duper light. That would just mess with my brain. And the other thing is, when I think light, I also think fragile. And so I would just, I wouldn't be able to buy that mouse. I'd be afraid that I'd break it really easy, like accidentally squeeze it too hard or something. And just not that I have.
That is why it's an injection molded exoskeleton with magnesium alloy to make it super strong, sir.
It's what is it? Not tungsten, but the other, like super duper hard metal. Oh, what is it? And I think we lost Zealeus. Yeah. So, but yeah, it's just me. I mean, when I bought a one of those systems that you could just plug into the TV, that has like all the classic games that you love to play built into it, and they come with like the super duper lightweight cheap controller. I'm always tempted just to buy like a roll of weights or something and just take off the back of the controller and add those weights to the cheap controllers that you plug into that thing that plugs into your TV, just so it feels better in your hands. Like I'm not going to what do you call it? Snap it in half in the middle of a game session. Maybe I should just buy like some metal and just reinforce the back. That would work too, but whatever.
Yo, am I back?
Yes, Zealeus is back. Zealeus, I was just talking about, how you can get those systems at like Walmart or Target that have like all your favorite games built into it.
Oh yeah.
And they come with like these really flimsy controllers. I'm always tempted to like unscrew the back of the controllers and put little weights into the controller just so it has a little bit more heft.
I'm not sure that actually makes it stronger.
No, it's not going to make it stronger, but for me, it makes me feel like it's going to last longer, even though it probably will cause more damage than good.
So you're a man of delusions is what I'm hearing.
I just like weight with my game controllers and my mice and that stuff. Although I'm going to have to purchase a new game controller for my PC, because that controller's been dropped one too many times and it's starting to fracture.
That definitely happens.
Yes.
You should put it in a bubble wrap.
Then it would be really hard to game with.
Well, you have like little slits for your hands to kind of slip into.
No. Zealeus, that's way too complicated for my puny brain. I can't do that. No. But anyways, yeah. That's basically all I could say about a $280 mouse. Is it wireless or is it wired?
I don't remember actually.
Because I'd also be afraid if something is super duper light.
Because that's for you, Charlie. So that's a thing you can make at home to protect your controllers with, to prevent destruction.
Zealeus has posted a YouTube link in the chat just for those who are probably watching this after the fact. But there you go.
I'm just saying, it might be something that you need.
Yeah. No, I'm good. I'll figure something out. And let's be honest, that your generic gaming controller is not going to be all that expensive unless you get brand name. And then they decide. I mean, it's like with anything that's got the fancy brand names. You could get the off-brand Switch Joy-Cons for like $30, or you get the actual Nintendo ones for like $60. You get the Xbox 360 wired controller from actual Microsoft, and it's like $58. Or you can get the generic, I don't know, Jimmy Bob Electronics for $20.
But there is a difference in the feel of the controller, how the buttons press, the haptic feedback. There is definitely a difference.
There is, but most of the time it's really negligible, unless you need that like super duper fine tuning.
Aren't you a super duper gamer, sir?
I am a super duper gamer, and as once upon a time being a developer, I know some of the shortcuts that some of the third party peripheral developers do compared to the actual one. And the main difference is sensitivity in the analog sticks and the way that they work it. It's a lot for that precision. The actual controllers, the actual like name brand controllers, their sensitivity field is a circle, and third party is a square. So it's not when you go at slight angles. Instead of if you go, basically if you go straight up right or straight up left, straight down right, straight down left, it's fine. However, if you've got to kind of go anywhere between down and down right, that's when the precision goes kind of in the toilet.
Yep, I know exactly what you mean.
So, but yes. Other than that, I mean, like I said, if you need that level of precision, then yeah, it's worth buying the actual first party controller. But I have yet to run into a game where I've needed that level of precision. And to be honest with you, if I need that level of precision, seeing that I'm basically playing almost exclusively PC games, I'll switch over to the mouse and keyboard.
I could see that.
Because let's be honest, and we've had this argument several times. If you want like the super duper level of precision that you need for like a first person shooter, nothing's going to beat the mouse and keyboard.
Nope. It is the ultimate real gamer peripherals.
Oh boy, let's not start that. Real gamer peripherals, good lord.
I'm just saying, there's sometimes empirical facts. It's okay.
I have to say this before I forget again. I am super duper excited. FX is bringing back. Is it FX? Okay, I think it's FX, but I think Hulu is now bringing it. Actually, FX is Fox. Fox is Disney. Disney is Hulu. So, ta-da! Look at this.
Connect the dots.
It's like 7 degrees of Disney instead of Kevin Bacon.
Oh God.
Anyways, Hulu has announced that the really well done FX series Hitmonkey is coming back for a second season. And,
I don't know that one,
dude. It's basically like a Hitman for hire, but it's a monkey. Hitmonkey season 1 premiered November 2021. And now they have finally said that there is going to be a second season, and Jason Sudeikis is coming back to voice I can't remember what the guy's name is, but he's the ghost of a hitman. Right. There you go. And however, Hitmonkey will no longer include Marvel in the title for season 2 because the Marvel television production company no longer exists.
Sure.
Yeah, that works. Whatever.
I don't really care.
But I don't. They haven't said when it's coming, but they have promised a second season. There were some people out there who were a little bit. I mean, it's been since 2021, and there's been like radio silence about it. There was another Marvel show out there called MODOK that was voiced by Patton Oswalt, which in my honest opinion was kind of shitty. And it got canned after one season and without any update about Hitmonkey in the past 2 years or year and 8 months or something like that. I think that a lot of people thought that had been canned as well. But yeah.
I don't know that one either.
Don't learn about that one. Just watch Hitmonkey. If you got some time, watch Hitmonkey because it's awesome. It's actually probably really up your alley, Zealeus.
Well, I've been currently addicted to The Librarians. Has been my game of choice.
I have been binging the shit out of Archer.
Interesting.
I think I said this on our last show. I had basically gone through all the Rick and Mortys. Although now, I'd be very interested to see what the future of Rick and Morty holds because one of their co-creators, of course, got canned for his sexual or domestic violence against his girlfriend, and he actually got dropped by several other projects that he helped create. The gentleman, I can't remember the name off the top of my head, he was actually the voice of Rick and Morty, so they're going to have to recast that. So Rick and Morty are going to sound a little bit different going forward.
And yet you still have Ezra Miller running around with DC.
Yeah. Well, DC is really weird. Speaking of DC, speaking of DC, James Gunn, one of the new heads of the DC movie division, people were like, "Why did you fire Henry Cavill?" Because everyone's like, he's Superman, and James Gunn was like, no, he was never offered the part of Superman. So that makes me really confused, because why would Henry Cavill say, "Yep, I'm coming back to be Superman," and then James Gunn goes, "No, he's never going to be Superman."
I guess maybe he was never offered by James Gunn, so in James Gunn's mind, he was never offered the part.
Okay, that's just.
Yeah. I mean, I'm bending
it makes my head hurt.
Somebody's bending the truth somewhere, man.
Yeah, it makes my head hurt so much.
It's like at the end of the academic year as a teacher, if you're not offered a contract for next year, you technically weren't fired. Your contract just wasn't renewed.
Yeah, that's another. I don't think I could handle that. Yeah, I wouldn't be able to handle that very well at all.
Well, step one, just don't become a teacher. Then you don't have to worry.
There you go. I'm excited because this weekend, the gentleman who helped me out at ChattaCon is actually going to come hang out with me to help kind of organize the Alter Confusion office. So next week, the view from that you see in the back may be different.
Ooh.
So yeah.
Well, right now you don't really see anything.
I know, because it looks like I'm in a dark cave, and I'm going to change that up.
Like, I didn't even notice, because normally you see your Funko Pops, and I was just like, wait a second, like, has he been abducted by Funko Pops that grew up?
No, one of the problems is that the usual lighting that I have behind me was required by someone else in this house, and so they have it for their meetings, and because I don't need it during my meetings. Because I'll just have the overhead lights on, but for when I'm streaming for Alter Confusion, the overhead lights basically whitewash me, because I'm already very pale, and I don't need any help becoming paler.
Charlie the Ghost.
Yeah. Woo!
It could be your new Halloween theme.
Yeah, no. Anyway, Zealeus, any closing thoughts?
Can't think of any off the top of my head, sir.
Yeah, I'm locked into 2 games this weekend. None of them being digital. My son his team is in the first round of the playoffs on Saturday, and then I apparently have a men's basketball game on Sunday morning. I still feel the hit I took to my ribs from last week. So, yeah, by the end, because I played last night, and by the end of the game, I was like sucking some serious air because my ribs hurt every single time I was breathing. So that was not fun.
Nice. You had some good effects. It means you felt the game.
Oh, Lord. Sure.
You truly endeavored into a good game. Sometimes you got to feel the pain.
Oh, my God. Zealeus, shut up.
That's how you know you're alive.
I know I'm alive.
You can't have the joy of exaltation if you don't have pain along the way.
Oh, Lord. Well, with that, ladies and gentlemen, I think we've reached the end of our show. Because I've got nothing else. I apologize. I wish I had more time to get more topics together, but it has been a crazy couple of weeks. Next Thursday, Sam Grizzle and Charlie talk about Crusader Kings for the whole show. It's probably not going to happen because I'll still be playing the crap out of Lost in Random, or I will be moving on to the next playthrough. And Zealeus, we already know that I won't play Battlefield. I don't play first-person shooters.
You can make it up as you go along.
Yes, I was a soldier, and I shot the bad guys with my gun, and I was excellent, and I definitely wasn't standing still because I can't aim and move at the same time.
I have a better idea. What if Sam plays Battlefield and you commentate over his gameplay as though it's like a live action novel.
Like a soccer match. And here he goes. He's going down the left flank. And he's hiding behind the building. And where is the enemy? The enemy is headshot.
See? Now you're onto something.
Sure, why not? Anyways, so I want to give an hour, you'll get hooked. Well, we'll see. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to thank everyone for tuning into the Ultra Confusion Thursday Night Hangout. For myself, Charlie, and Zealeus, it's been a pleasure giving you our heads, our mouths, and of course, our hearts. We'll be back next Thursday. God damn, that really fucking hurt because I hit my ribs. We'll be back next Thursday for another Ultra Confusion Thursday Night Hangout.
Remember, kids, keep on gaming in the free world.
Amen to that, brother.